If you're a betting man, you got to bet on Peggy, Glenn, and Bob Joudrey because they have a 57-pin differential.
Going with the numbers, aren't you?
Well,
you did take all week to think about this, didn't you?
I did, Bruce, and I think what's going to happen here, both girls know one another very, very well, and both fellas know each other very, very well. I think it's going to come down to a pressure game. There's going to be a lot of pressure here. We're going to see a lot of easy marks missed here tonight, and I think the team that's got their second ball with putting the accuracy on it about 75 or 80% is going to win it.
Okay, it was just a week ago that SOWARD and SLUNWHITE were here and won, and I think it was just a week before that their opponents were on. But we talked at that time about Bob Joudrey. In recent years, he hasn't bowled all that well on TV, but he did bowl very, very well a couple of weeks ago, and we suggested at that time that maybe he solved the problem with the TV lights and cameras and so on.
Well, I think he solved the problem with his glasses. I don't see he has them on tonight, but I'm sure that they're in that counter somewhere. He will be wearing them, but I think we encouraged Bobby a little bit. Bobby bowled on the CBC, one of the first ones we had, and I think Bobby won that, beat me out by about 6 pins, but I remember it very, very well. But I think Bobby will probably perform tonight. And him and Barry are very, very close, and so is Carolyn and Peggy. So I think it's going to come down to the second ball.
Should be a real good match, this one. 4 excellent bowlers for your enjoyment. Let's meet them now and see how their styles compare.
And our first bowler up to take her warm-up tosses is Peggy Glenn. And during round 1, Jack, we talked about the little bit of background information on the bowlers. Right now, we're going to take a look at their styles.
Well, Peggy has a very good style, very fluid, very soft. She uses all the runway like we see there on the monitor, Bruce. Very good delivery. She bowls from right to left, very accurate, as we just witnessed. Very rarely does she go over the foul line or lob a ball. She's just a proprietor's dream.
Boy, I like the way she charges the foul line, too. As you say, uses all the runway.
Fine bowler.
Too. That is Peggy Glenn, then. Her partner is the gentleman stepping up to the lower portion of your screen on the right-hand side, Bob Joudrey.
Well, Bobby's been bowling for a fair number of years, Bruce, but he uses about the middle of the approach. For the viewers out there, we missed it on this ball, but I'll show you how a right-handed bowler should start. And this is a perfect start. We're looking at his feet right now. He'll put that left leg about a foot in front of him. He's got all his weight on his right leg, which pushes him off. That's why Bobby is a successful bowler like he is. He bowls from right to left, and that's something you hear in the background. That means he's dropping the ball. But other than that, fine bowler.
But he does that, doesn't he? He doesn't seem to bother. He does it consistently and still bowls well. Bob Joudrey, then, and Peggy Glenn, team number 1. Now let's go to team number 2. This is Carolyn SLUNWHITE.
Now, Carolyn is a 3-step approach bowler. Here again, now she starts on the wrong foot, but she makes up for it by taking a short step. All right-handed bowlers should start on their left and put their weight on the right. But Carolyn is a very smooth bowler. She gets the ball up 4 or 5 feet, very accurate. She's always in the 1 and 2 and 3 pockets. She's using the alley ball today, Bruce. She bowls also like Peggy Glenn, right to left. And it's been around for a few years. It's made her mark in the bowling game.
All right, starts off the wrong foot. Reminds me of another SLUNWHITE, Helen SLUNWHITE, who bowls off the wrong foot, but it works. That was Carolyn SLUNWHITE, and this is her partner, Barry SOWARD.
Now, Barry's here again. If you look at his legs, he's got all his weight on his right foot. Starts off with the left, the way you should. Barry uses about 3/4 of the runway, Bruce. Very hard chucker. Throws from right to left with a lot of spin on the ball. And if Barry's in the 1, 2, 1, and 3 pocket, he gets a lot of 8-pin, I should say, Bruce, 9-pin breaks with a lot of wood on the approach. Barry's got to get out of the chute real well. And I think between him and Bobby, if they got their accuracy, it's going to be a very close match.
And all the makings of a good one. As you've seen in the warm-ups, you've met them all. Peggy Glenn, Bob Joudrey, Carolyn SLUNWHITE, and Barry SOWARD. Their warm-ups are over. Let's get to the action then and take a look at the girls as we watch Peggy Glenn and Carolyn SLUNWHITE. And it will be Carolyn on the right side and Peggy on the left. It has all the makings, Jack, of a real barn burner.
It sure does.
Carolyn
And I think the
SLUNWHITE.
scores will be high, too, Bruce.
Interesting shot coming up in lane 10. Now, this is Peggy Glenn. Just off to the right, but gets in great action. Back to lane 10, piece of wood, Jack, in between.
Should be all right.
Oh,
Well,
tough to tell sometimes. The 3 horsemen for Peggy Glenn, and she's missed hers by a pin. SLUNWHITE will settle for a 9. And now Peggy Glenn. He counts the 1 pin and gives her 10.
Well, what I'm going to do here tonight, Bruce, like I mentioned in the opening of the show, is that the second ball will come into play here, and what I'm going to call a spirit chance, and if they miss it, I'm going to mark it next, and just see how this comes out percentage-wise.
Yeah, we got 2 for 2 right now. Candlepin SLUNWHITE off to the left-hand side a little bit. Left the horseman plus the 7. Now Peggy Glenn. Ooh, on the front pin, but came up real empty. Carolyn. Now Peggy Glenn is a piece of wood moving back and forth. I don't really think it's going to turn at all. We'll wait for that wood to stop rolling.
Well, with that type of break, Bruce, I'm sure she will wait for the wood because you're going to play it because she's got to pick a fence down there. Yeah.
We'd like that wood to be off to the left-hand side, somewhere in front of those 4 pins. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, it's very early in the match. I think she will probably play the wood.
Wow, she's taking a long time, and rightfully so, looking at this one. Now she's set. She did play the wood, Jack. She certainly wasn't playing that 10 pin in the corner. Candlepin SLUNWHITE looking for 10, and gets a nice-looking 10, and a nice recovery with the 3rd ball. Glenn, missed on the left-hand side, and we'll have to settle for a 6. The ladies are down, the men are up. Bob JOUDREY and Barry Soward, and that's Soward on the right-hand side. I'll tell you a little something about Bob JOUDREY in just a moment. Oh, rough start for Barry Soward, hammering straight through the center. Bob JOUDREY bounces the ball, got 9 in a hurry, and good coverage of the 10 pin, looking for 10. Barry Soward tries the right-hand side, gets a 3. Now JOUDREY to spare, looks pretty good. He's got it. Now Barry Soward will try to make it 10. And a good-looking 10 it is for Barry Soward. Bob JOUDREY just a short time ago passed a 425, Jack, down in Lunenburg at the Blue Nose Lane. 425, strings of 106, 127, and then a 192.
Wow.
And you know that 192 really wasn't looking like a 192 at the latter stages of the string. He was at 104 and open, or at least 94 and open. After 7, then he got a strike in the 8th, strike in the 9th, strike in the 10th. Finished off with 4 strikes in all, did Bob JOUDREY, with a very impressive 192. I like that one, Jack.
That is a fantastic score there. And you might mention, too, I think they were bowling in Lunenburg, Bruce, and they had a final string total of 695.
Yeah. Peggy Glenn here on the front pin. Now Candlepin SLUNWHITE. But you look over Bob's string, Jack, in the 3rd frame he had a 7. And then he had an 8 in the 5th. So there's 5 pins he dropped that he could have picked up. The rest, of course, were marked. But 5 and 92 is 97. And on a spare in the 2nd, he had but 5. So that could have been a 200 game. Candlepin SLUNWHITE. 7 for a 9, and another 6 for Peggy Glenn. She's out for a real rough start, Jack.
That's 2 in a row for Peggy, and both times she's been on the front pin, Bruce, so it does show up as 2 6s, but however, the viewers out there, she was on the front pin. Yeah.
On the front pin again with 9 in a hurry. It's going to be 10. No! Wow, she wobbled the 4 pin. It would not go, and Candlepin SLUNWHITE is the problem. Now, it should be routine here for Peggy Glenn, Jack.
Well, she's got 2 good pieces of wood down there. She'll go right in the V, right on the pin.
Shot, and she is right on the pin and gets the spare. Nice recovery for Peggy Glenn. I'll be a chance, Jack. I'd like to say hello to Iris Rumke, who is 86 years old, and we'd also like to say hello to her sister, Nellie Wilson, who is 92 years old. And ladies, it sure is nice to have you with us again this week. Never miss a show, Jack.
Isn't that fantastic?
So we may have to make Iris and Nellie honor her remembers.
And they are sisters. Yeah.
86 rather, 92. Nice to have you with us. All right, Bob Jodrey on the right-hand side, Barry Soward here on the left. How about the shot on the lane 10, Jack, for Jodrey? Looks pretty good.
Yes, it does. He's waiting for that front wood to stop rolling, and I think if he's high, or right in the V there, it shouldn't be any problem. As long as it doesn't go too far left.
Got it. Bob Jodrey picked up his second mark. Very sour. A little tougher. Oh, boy, spinning wood. Right across the front of the pin.
Well, he hit that one right where you should have hit it, Bruce, and lots of wood, but he left the 8.
Yeah, hard to believe. Very sour. He started off punching through the middle and got a 10, putting the right hand on the left-hand side. And came back with a 9, and there's another top 10 there that should have been a spare. He's been there. Bob Jodrey here, however, is on the spare. Get half up. Very sour. Little too flush again. 3 in the right and 2 in the left.
Barry looks like he's trying to overpower the pins, Bruce. Yeah. He is a hard chucker.
Again, he's dead on. Takes the 3 in the right-hand side. Shows the third ball. Good looking 10 there. Barry Soward looking for a 10. Have a 9 this time. A couple of 9s, a couple of 10s for Barry Soward, but he's bowled much better than that. We're in the early going of the first string. It's the first week of the second round of the number 730s Mixed Doubles Championship. We've got a good one going right here. This is CAROYLN SLUNWHITE. Carolyn on that front pin has left the diamond shot. Now that is the target that Peggy Glenn is looking for on a spare. Backdoor action there from the side. Picks up 6 in that spare. SLUNWHITE. Nope, the 5 and only the 5. Peggy Glenn. Looks pretty good. Oh, yes, sir.
Yes. Great shot. Yep.
So after getting a couple of 6s, Peggy Glenn has roared back with 2 spares. See what she can pick up on that second spare right now, or at least after Carolyn throws her first ball. Carolyn may be feeling the heat just a little bit. Pinning well.
Pinning very well.
Couple of 10s. Oh, boy, nice hit. Tough split. That's going to be interesting, Jack. We'll get back to that in just a moment. This is Peggy Glenn on her spare. On the front end, but does not get much. Got the 4. How about this shot, Jack?
She's got to play it over by the 10. Right around the red band sheet. The ball can carry him off and take the set.
Right-hand side, there's the shot. Got them both. Good shot by CAROYLN SLUNWHITE. She picked up her first mark. Now, Peggy Glenn. Wow.
Another inch either way, Bruce, and Peggy, I think, would have speared that up. Yeah, she got it right on the nose.
Goes on the wood again, and we'll have to settle for the 8. Then we'll bring the men back up again. And after this, we'll go to the scoreboard and bring up the dates. And this is how they stack up. Very Soward. And on the front pin. Again, tough split. Well, maybe not so. Bob Jodrey, good hit on. Almost said he was on the spare, Jack, but he wasn't. This is not that bad for Barry Soward.
Barry's got to miss the shot to get that wood over to take the 7. He's going to shoot the one on the right.
Oh.
Good try here, Bobby. Right on the 4 pin, it should go.
Shot. Oh.
It came up. Yeah, good try.
Another 10 for Barry Soward. And count 10 also for Bob Jodrey. Well, it's been 10, 3 of them, and a couple of 9s for this man. First 5. Again, another good hit. He has really been on that front pin. However, several times he's punched out, but a good chance here for Barry Soward. You see it, 5 and 9. There's the shot. Got a post. Now, Bob Jodrey. Just missed. That's another shot, Jack.
1, 7, and 10. Yeah.
Looks nice when it goes, doesn't it?
It sure does.
There it is. He got it. Great shot for Bob Jodrey to pick up 10. Well, the action is hot and heavy here in the early going. 6 frames gone in the first string. Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey against Carolyn SLUNWHITE and Barry Soward. Let's go to the scoreboard and see how they stack up. Jack.
Well, a very close match, Bruce. Right now we're looking at Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey, and Peggy started with a 10. I gave her an X there in the first box. I thought she had a spare chance here with the 1, 2, 4, and she missed it, so there's an X for Peggy. But then she went 6, 6, 6 for the next 3 boxes, but came back very strong with 2 spares with a total of 10 on both spares. And an 8 box and a 6. She's at 60, even par. But Peggy has had 10 on her marks, like I say, Bruce, with 2 marks. So she's dropped 10 pins in 6 boxes. But however, she's got herself back to par. Not too bad. She's got 4 boxes remaining. Bob Joudrey just pinning super. Bob, I gave 1 X to. That was in the second frame. I thought he had a pretty good easy spare chance here with the 1, 3, 6, and 9. And he went on the 3 pin and missed it. However, pinning very well. He has a total of 2 marks, 11 on both marks. He's at 70, 10 over par. Their 12-box total is 130. Now we're looking at Carolyn SLUNWHITE and Barry Soward. Carolyn's just pinning very, very well. I gave her an X in the first box, Bruce, even though she had the 4, 8, and you said that would be a problem. She hit the shot, it didn't go, so I gave her an X. However, she has 3 9s, 2 10s, and she's open on a mark there in the 6. She's at 57, so that's what pinning will do for you, Bruce. She's only down 3 on Peggy, so if she gets 3 on that, she's going to catch Peggy Glenn. Barry got his first mark in the 6th frame. He doesn't have an X. He's on that front pin, and I think Barry's just trying to overpower the pins here tonight, Bruce. But, you know, he's at 58, 2 under par, but he does have a bonus ball. So after 6 boxes, we have Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey leading Carolyn SLUNWHITE and Barry Soward by 15 pins.
And I suppose if SLUNWHITE and Soward get 7.5 apiece on their marks, we got a tie match. It's going to be interesting as we go through the first string. We have 4 frames to come in this first string. Let's get back to it now. Jack, while we have a minute, we want to say hello to a very special friend of ours, and Butch Carter. Now, Butch is recovering after sustaining some injuries in a car accident. I know Butch is watching the show, so from Jack and I and all your friends at Paisley Lanes, and in fact in bowling circles all over Metro, Butch, get well soon. We miss you. I'd like to see you back. Peggy Glenn. Good shot. Got 9. That'll be it. Now, Carolyn on a spare here. On the front pin. Oh, gets 8. 6 and 10 going late. Both girls with excellent spare chances. Still looking to give away that case of Coke tonight, Jack, for the...
Got to watch this one.
Got it. Played it perfectly. The first bowler, rather, who gets a strike in tonight's competition will pick up a case of Coke, and of course that's the case every week. Excuse the pun.
Well, Bruce, I got to say hello to Joy Smith out there. She bowls with us in the Forbes League. She's our captain, and she's just a fantastic bowler. So, Joy, keep the practicing going. We might win something before the year's over.
Oh, yeah, get that. Peggy's got a pretty good chance here, Jack, with coverage on the 7.
Anywhere's on that 2 pin.
There's the shot. No, she missed. Got the 5. Carolyn SLUNWHITE now. Close. At the top of the show, we met Sean Mullins just a couple of weeks ago. Had that 97 in the YBC program. For this past week, our bowlers of the week in the YBC in the Kiwi division, Amanda White had a 56. She's 6 years old. 8-year-old Dwayne Morrissey had a 71. In the Bantam division, Darlene Holland had a 75. Sean Dyer had an 84. And Alan Ptolemy had an 84. They're 10, 8, and 10 years old, respectively. And this is Bob Joudrey now on the mark. Barry Soward, he picks up 7. Joudrey here with the corner pins, but does have some wood to work with.
This could go, Bruce. He's got the 7-10. Here he's going to have to play the 5-pin here off to the right.
Side of the wood. Oh, great try.
Great shot.
That wood's coming back, but I think it's going to go in front of the pin.
I think he might get it. Ooh, wobbler.
Coming back to the YBC, the juniors, Paula Galbraith had a 102. She's just 11 years old. And 13-year-old Andrew Grady had a 117. And in the senior division, a 91 for Sherry Murphy, 13 years old. Tracy George, who's 17, had a 91. Look at this. Stephen Shea, 14 years old, had a 122. YBC bowlers really put on a great show.
Well, Bruce, we're still looking for our first strike.
Yeah.
Good chance for Bobby. We'll give him an extra, Bruce.
Yeah. Oh. Jack, just to clear up our YBC before we leave it, 2 mispronunciations from last week. Tip of the old Paisley Lane hat in the direction of Matt Legacy and Wanda Dewitt. I think I kind of did a number on their names last week. All right, back to the ladies now. They're going to finish off the first string. This is Carolyn Swanwood on the right-hand side. She's 8 over now at 88. Okay, did 9 in a hurry, almost got the 7. Now, let's go to Peggy Glenn, who is 5 over at 85. They're keeping it real close. Now, she's just missed the front pin. A little late action there. Well, look out. Interesting shot in lane 9, but this is Carolyn Swanwood shot. She's got the spare. Now, over this, Jack.
On the front pin, lots of wood. She could make it.
Uh-oh. Missed the front pin.
Caught it on the nose.
Yeah. So Carolyn Swanwood's going to win the battle here in the first string. Peggy Glenn can't mark. Does come up with a 9, though. And she'll finish with a very respectable 104. 1 pin now in favor of JOUDREY and Glenn. But that's going to change right now because Carolyn Swanwood is open on the spare. So unless she throws a gutter ball,
Oh, Bruce, you're talking about names there. You know, I mean, I could do a number on James Smith, Stevens, Peters.
That's 5 for Carolyn Swanwood. Now, I told Peggy Glenn a little short. Of course, she can catch Carolyn by marking here. She's just liable to do with it. It's a little tough. And both you and I, Jack, I should mention, are in deep trouble with Colleen Peters.
Oh, great shot.
Great shot by Peggy Glenn. We talked about Colleen's 428 last week.
428.
I mean 328. Which one said it was a miracle? Was that you or me? Anyway, we're in big trouble. So anyway, Colleen Peters. Again, this week we'll probably have something like a 328. Peggy Glenn rolling on the spare, gets 7 on it. So Peggy finishes with a 111, and Carolyn Swanwood finishes with a 111. Dead even are the ladies. Oh, dear. Peggy Glenn is never going to let me forget that, Jack. Very soured. Now Bob JOUDREY. Good hit by both men.
He's got them all.
Bob JOUDREY comes up with the strike. This be shades of what he did down in Lunenburg, Jack.
Look at this shot.
Wow, great shot there by Barry Soward to mark. But it was a strike in the 8th for Bob JOUDREY, then the 9th, then the couple in the 10th. But that's a big mark for Barry Soward, Jack.
Very big mark. I think it's 5 pins in favor of JOUDREY and Glenn.
Now, Soward gets right on that front pin to count 7. JOUDREY looking for the double. Not to be. Soward.
Anywhere's on the side of that wood, Bruce, you should clean them out.
Here's the shot. Bang. Got him. Bob JOUDREY now. Maybe off the tip of that wood.
Right on the 9 pin.
No. Lost that one completely.
He'll play it this time round about just below the red band. He should get it.
There's the shot. Oh,
No,
just
a little
high.
high.
A 9 for Bob JOUDREY. JOUDREY finishes with a 115 for a two-team total of 226.
Right now, we need 6 on it, and we got a tie ball game after the first string, Bruce.
Let's see what happens. 6 to tie the match at the halfway mark. Barry Soward, and he's got 6. Well, we predicted this kind of a match, Jack. It is indeed interesting. Peggy Glenn and Bob JOUDREY doing battle with Carolyn Swanwood and Barry Soward. And we revised the total. Looks like 1 pin in the difference. We'll get the actual official and complete update as we go to the scoreboard. We've got a real dandy here. Hang on, we could see overtime in this one. Let's go to the scoreboard then and get the official update once again. Here's Jack.
Well, Bruce, just an exciting first match here between Peggy Glenn, Bob Joudrey, Carolyn SLUNWHITE, and Barry Sauer. Right now, we're looking at Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey. Peggy Glenn started a little slow the first three boxes, Bruce, but really redeemed herself. Came back with a fantastic string of 111. Good bowling there by Peggy. After any time you get 2 sixes in a row, right off the bat, you're right under par, and she redeemed herself with 4 marks through that string for 111. Fine game by Peggy Glenn. Bob Joudrey, 3 marks for 115. Good bowling by Bobby. He missed. I gave him 2 X's that first string. He had the 8-pin break there in the 8th, which he missed, and come right back in the 9th and threw a strike on it. So there's 10 pins that he really missed there, Bruce, in that 8th frame. If he had picked up the 5 and 9 and threw a strike on it, they could be leading this match. However, a fine game by Bob Joudrey. Third 2-string total, 226. Carolyn SLUNWHITE, 3 marks the first string. A fine game of 111, pinned very, very well. She had a total of 17 on her marks, so she dropped 6 pins the first string. I gave her 1 X through the first string. Carolyn SLUNWHITE, 111. Barry Sauer, 3 marks, fine game of 116. Had a total of 20 on his marks. He dropped 4 pins, Bruce. Excellent bowling. Third 2-string total, 227. So after the first round, we have Carolyn SLUNWHITE and Barry Sauer leading Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey by 1 pin, and don't go to the fridge.
Jack, I want to tell you that SLUNWHITE and Sauer have really come on from about the halfway mark in the first string. SLUNWHITE had 3 spares, about the final 5 frames, and Barry Sauer had 3, and Glenn and Joudrey had only 3 among them. So if you look at that kind of a statistic, you got to believe the momentum is now in favor of SLUNWHITE and Sauer.
Yes, it is, Bruce. And I mean, you got to look back to the early part of the match. Peggy Glenn with those 2 sixes. There's 8 pins there in a difference. They had a total of 7 marks versus, I believe, SLUNWHITE and Sauer of 3 or 6. I'm sorry. So, anytime you're open marked, you should be down pins. But in this case, SLUNWHITE and Sauer up 1 pin.
Anyway, I'm with you, Jack. I think don't go to the fridge. You might miss the shot that's going to win or lose this one. As we've got an excellent match as Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey do battle against Carolyn SLUNWHITE and Barry Sauer. Let's go back to the action and watch the ladies as they now bowl through frames 1 and 2 in the second and final string. Start off the second string, it'll be Peggy Glenn on the right-hand side and Carolyn SLUNWHITE on the left. What does that mean when they finish, though, Jack?
Well, the advantage goes to SLUNWHITE and Sauer because the rule in Candlepin bowling is the bowler must bowl first on the right.
Okay. And it may come down to that being a big advantage, the way this one's going. Both girls with good spare chances here. See what Peggy Glenn can do. Fine on the left-hand side. Now Carolyn SLUNWHITE. Oh, can't believe it, Jack.
Well, it was hit perfect, and she left the 4 pin down.
Hard to believe. Peggy Glenn comes back to get 9. And Carolyn SLUNWHITE will score 9. Jack, we talked about the Masters competition. I'll remind our viewers again briefly that the Masters competition is coming. Check with your local bowling house on this. The house roll-off should begin, I would guess, within a week. Each house is setting their own time for their house roll-off. But that is a dandy. Good shot there by Peggy Glenn. The camera just swept over to lane number 9. Total of 9 going down.
Peggy has a 7 all by itself.
Yeah. How about this one, Jack?
She's got to hit this high, just around the nose, to carry that 7 pin.
There's the shot, and she went low and got it.
Well, that shot there, Bruce, she either got to go real low or real high. And Carolyn on that shot there, I think she went low. She had her foot up in the air, thought she missed it.
Well, Jack, right now, if my calculation is correct, the match is 2 points, or pins rather, in favor of SLUNWHITE and Sauer. SLUNWHITE is open. This is Bob Joudrey. Sauer, good hit, got them all.
Well,
Barry
Bruce,
Sauer got them all in a hurry.
if we remember last week, Barry come out shooting that second string. Great shot by Bobby.
There's a real clutch spare for Bob Joudrey. They were 3 in a line, but that's not real easy to make, especially under the kind of pressure he was under, with Sauer coming out and picking up the strike to start things off.
Well, Barry had a fine finish last week in the second string. I think he finished with a 128, Bruce.
Yeah, you're right. Now, JOUDREY on a spare. Barry Soward looking for bonus money on the double. Good hit. He's got it. Double strike for Barry Soward.
Exciting.
And that was worth $25. He's going to have a shot at the 100 here in a minute.
Oh, we got a perfect game going for Barry Soward.
Oh, there's a nice shot by Bob JOUDREY. But it's rough when your opponent tosses the double at you. Well, sure changes things just a little bit. Now, CAROYLN SLUNWHITE looks a little more relaxed up there. She's open on the spare. And good hit. She's got 9 on it. Almost picked up the strike in the spares of SLUNWHITE. And Soward hot as a pistol right now. This lady, Peggy Glenn, trying to put out the fire.
CAROLYN's got to watch this one. She hits it on the nose, I don't think she'll get it.
There's the shot. Oh. A little too shy of that nose, Jack. We missed the left-hand side.
Well,
Peggy Glenn now.
We'll give her an X for that.
Second attempt. On the nose. Got it. I'm not going to say a thing, Jack.
This is not the Jimmy the Greek night.
All bets are off, folks.
The Super Bowl will be over when this is... no, it should be probably going on, Bruce, but I'm picking the Giants.
The way you're picking them tonight, Jack, the Broncos are a sure thing. All right. This is CAROYLN SLUNWHITE. Nice to know you're human anyway, Jack. Now Peggy Glenn. Peggy and her partner, Bob JOUDREY, are really going to start thinking marks. Now, it's only early in the second string.
There's 2 good hits by both girls here, and they both got a picket fence. This is a tough shot for CAROLYN.
On the nose.
Peggy will play the 2 pins here, Bruce, hoping to get the 4 over onto the 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, very nice try.
SLUNWHITE coming back while we have a chance, Jack. Scotch doubles coming up January the 23rd. It's $95 per team. A team is made up of a man and a woman, a man and a woman, and a man and a woman. So 3 men, 3 women. But each combination can't have an average of over 200. Drop by Basin Lane's Pine Street. That's where it's going to happen. And register your team January the 23rd. That's the date, January the 23rd. $95 a team for 6
Look out.
players. Wow, looking for the $100 bonus money on the front pin and came up real short. What a great break for Bob JOUDREY, his partner, Peggy Glenn. Still on the strike. Going to get 6 on the second one. JOUDREY would have liked to have spared that. Okay. Oh, there's a 6 box for Barry Soward, Jack, and well, it's got to be a big help for Glenn and JOUDREY. Now they find themselves down by 23 pins, and that's all. And that could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a bunch, Bruce. Barry was on the front pin there, took out to 1, 8, and 9, and finished with a 6 box.
Comes right back, though, and almost strikes again. Now, Bob JOUDREY just off that front pin. That's the 4 horsemen.
Barry's got to be careful here. He's got to play it over on the right-hand side, because I don't think that wood is touching the 9 pin, so he's going to have to be awful close to that 9 pin to get it.
Okay, there's the shot. He's got it. Big mark for Barry Soward, putting pressure on Bob JOUDREY. Oh, great shot by Bob JOUDREY, responding to the pressure. They're just not giving too much quarter here, Jack.
Great shot making.
Back to the ladies once again. Peggy Glenn. Peggy. 3 9s and an 8. Second string here. Good hit. That's a solid 5. CAROYLN SLUNWHITE. Off to the right a touch. Now, Peggy has got a piece of wood out in front, Jack, that could be a disaster. A little hard to tell from here, but I think she can get by.
Her ball goes right to left, so she's going to be going to the left side on this, but she can get by that. I think if she hits it on the nose, she should get it.
Oh, she just brushed the wood.
CAROLYN's on the front pin here. She should have it.
There's the shot. 2 is wide on the right-hand side. And, Jack, while we have a chance, at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, you know what it is. Pick your partner, and no, the jackpot has not gone, and yes, it is over $1,900 now. Pick your partner, 10 o'clock, Basin Lane Sunday morning, over $1,900. That's the jackpot. Men have got to beat 165, ladies have got to beat 155. And, of course, if the jackpot doesn't go, there are daily prizes, and more importantly, a lot of fun. So that's the jackpot, over $1,900. Sunday morning, Basie Lanes, Pine Street. Carolyn Slonwhite, good hit, got 9, but that 10-2 will not go. But boy, she's got a great chance to mark. Not so great for Peggy Glenn, though.
Good try by Peggy. No
Well,
problems here.
She doesn't want to be too high in the wood, though, Jack.
Well, her ball's slow enough, Bruce. I think it'll take it.
Okay. Right on the pin. There for Carolyn Slonwhite and Peggy Glenn. We'll count 9. Well, the men are up right now. The gap is at somewhere around 20-something pins. We'll get an official update after the gentlemen bowl here because we're going to go to the scoreboard. This man, Bob Joudrey, really likes to help with some marks. He gets 7 on the fair. Here's from Barry Soward. He counts 8.
Good shot here for Bobby. Oh, he deserves that. Barry's going to play the single pin here, Bruce, the one on the right. He hits it, he'll get it.
Here's the shot.
He was trying.
Joudrey gets 10. The 9 for Barry Soward. Well, after this frame, each bowler will have 4 frames to count. And we're going to go to the scoreboard, as we mentioned, after this, so the bowlers will get a bit of a break. But Joudrey would really like to mark here and carry that mark. 7, 8, 9. Barry Soward, good hit. Left the 6 and the 10 together. Great spare chance. Bob Joudrey, though, he too has got a good spare chance here together.
Not so much for Bobby, yeah.
Uh-oh. Far on the right-hand side. That is a real heartbreaker. Barry Soward gets his, so what Joudrey wanted to do, Barry Soward did. Another big mark for Barry Soward. Carolyn Slonwhite and Barry Soward now with a lot in their favor with 4 frames to come over Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey. Let's go back to the scoreboard once again, see how they stack up with Jack.
Well, Bruce, right now we're looking at Peggy Glenn, Bob Joudrey, and they're bowling against Carolyn Slonwhite and Barry Soward. And Barry Soward and Carolyn have opened up a little bit of daylight here. But right now we'll go to Peggy Glenn, who I thought, I gave her 3 X's the first 6 boxes of the second string. She had 2 good opportunities in the first and second, and then she missed the 9-pin break in the 5th. It was a tough shot, but she had the 5, and I thought she could have got by it or hit it on the nose. However, she missed it. She's pinning a very, very good game at 53. Bob Joudrey started with a spare and had a good opportunity there to get another one, or I should say he did get another one in the 4th, and a golden opportunity in the 6th with the 1 and 3, and missed it very clean. Bobby's been on that front pin. He's leaving some bad splits down there, but his second ball is working good. Other than that spare he missed in the 6th, he's at 72, 12 over par. Carolyn Slonwhite started the way you should start. Got a spare. I got 9 on it for 28, and then I gave her an X in the 3rd box. She missed a 9-pin break. I said she was going to have to get by it to get the shot, and she had a nose facing her straight on. However, she hit it on the 3rd ball and went. So, however, we're not always right, but we'd like to have a little fun at it. She's at 66, 6 over par with a ball working for her in the 6th. Her partner, Barry Soward, well, if you want to close the match out early, he started. Double strike, picked up bonus money, was on the front pin on the double, took out the 1, 8, and 9. Came back in the 4th frame with a spare with 8 on it, and he also picked up a spare in the 6th. He has a ball working for him, and he's at 82. So after midway through the 2nd string here, after a 1-pin advantage in favor of Carolyn Slonwhite and Barry Soward after the 1st string, Carolyn and Barry have increased their lead to 23 pins, but the big thing, Bruce, is that they're both open, so it could go up as high as maybe 35, 38 pins.
I guess the real killer, Jack, if you're looking at Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey, is the fact that going to this break, as we go to the scoreboard, they have a chance to sit down and talk things over. But it would have been so much their advantage, not only on the scoreboard, but psychologically, if they had the marks yet to come, as opposed to Slonwhite and Soward both having open on marks. So Slonwhite and Soward have got to be sitting back kind of relaxed, but Glenn and Joudrey have to be a little dejected looking at those 2 marks that Slonwhite and Soward are going to throw on.
You're right, Bruce, and what's going to happen here in the next 4 boxes is that Peggy's going to have to get 3 marks out of 4, and Bobby's going to have to get 3 marks out of 4, providing Carolyn and Barry do not mark. But those 2 marks that they have open, I should say, they'd probably pick up 12 pins in total on those 2 marks, maybe even more. But the X's that Peggy and Bobby have in this first 6 boxes, I'd count 4. You look at Bobby's break there in the 6th. He missed the 1 and 3. Peggy missed the 3, 6, 10 in the first box and came right back with an 8-pin break, and she missed that one. Then she missed a 9-pin break in the 5th. Now, these are difficult shots, but they're makeable. And I think if they had picked them up, this match would be a heck of a lot closer than it is. However, this match is not over. We all know what Bobby can do. You got a sheet there in front of you where I think he threw 4 in a row, so I'm not going to bet on anybody right yet.
Yeah. Well, JOUDREY with strike in the 8th, strike in the 9th, and 2 in the 10th just about a week ago. So he can finish. Peggy Glenn can certainly finish. But can they do it today? That's the question as we go back to the action right now and take a look at Peggy Glenn and CAROYLN SLUNWHITE as they prepare now to bowl through frames 7 and 8 in this the second and final string in the number 730s Mixed Doubles Championship. And it will be CAROYLN SLUNWHITE to bowl on the right-hand side. CAROYLN open on that spare we've been talking about. Their team up by 23 plus. Plus 7 more. 8 more. 31. That's the difference right now. Peggy Glenn right here has got to think of marking off to the right-hand side. But, I don't know whether she wanted that one or not, Jack.
Anywhere's on the wood, she should have it. Well, I'm still batting 0.
Peggy Glenn got the 6th pin, Jack. I don't know if she wouldn't be better off to have it standing. Doesn't matter.
Looks
Use
good.
the wood, gets the spare. CAROYLN SLUNWHITE comes back with scores 9. The difference now is 30. But at least 31 make that. But at least SLUNWHITE, or at least JOUDREY and Glenn, have drawn even now in the number of marks the teams are open on, 1 apiece. CAROYLN SLUNWHITE. That's the 4 horsemen. Peggy Glenn looking for a big count here on her spare. Lays it down.
Good ball.
A little too good, Jack. That is real tough.
Well,
That's that 7 in the corner.
that's not what she wanted.
No. Oh, good shot there by CAROYLN SLUNWHITE. Comes up with the 4 horsemen. And now Peggy Glenn, a tough shot to make here to spare.
She didn't miss that by much.
No, sir. Great try. Wood coming back, but I don't think it's going to have it. No. So, Peggy will throw the 3rd ball. She's going to take 10. Well, that was a big mark by CAROYLN SLUNWHITE, Jack. Wow.
Well, the lead is down to, I believe, 25 pins, but they still have 2 open, Bruce. That is CAROYLN and Barry.
Barry right here to throw in his spare. Fourth 5, Bob JOUDREY. 4 horsemen for him. JOUDREY just off that front pin. So 30 pins, that's the difference with SLUNWHITE open. JOUDREY desperately needs this. Missed on the right-hand side. Looks like he might have almost slipped, Jack, near the foul line.
Barry will play the safe 2.
Gets 1 of the 2. And, there'll be an 8 for Bob JOUDREY. Well, Bob JOUDREY, right now, is going to be starting to think a little bit about the strike ball, Jack.
Well, there's only 1 mark open, 30 pins, and they still got room. They've got 5 boxes, but they're going to need 4 marks. 4 good marks.
Very Soward. 9-pin break there. Bob JOUDREY needs that 8-pin in behind. Will not get it.
Right on the pin for Barry.
For spare. He's got it. Bob JOUDREY. Real tough road to hoe right now. He can spare this up. Look out.
Oh, great shot.
Yeah, that was a great try, Jack. If that wood hadn't been there, I think he would have got them both.
I believe you're right, Bruce. It was a good try there by Bobby.
And he'll count 10. Ladies up once again for the final time in tonight's match, barring, of course, a tie. Peggy Glenn will throw on the right-hand side, and she is really going to think mark now. It's not over, but it's dangerously close.
Very close.
Really needed that 7-pin on the left-hand side. This is the target for CAROYLN SLUNWHITE, open on a spare. Going to get 6 on that. Oh, Peggy Glenn.
No
fire
luck.
break. No. Not all that bad for Carolyn. Not to be. Peggy Glenn. If you have the chance, Jack, we remind our viewers once again, it's the number 7 Masters of Nova Scotia, $7,000 in prize money. Contact your local bowling center for more information, but do it in a hurry because the house roll-offs are coming up just about any day now. Each house sets their own house roll-off time, but you must win that to have a chance to get all the way to the Masters. There'll be zone roll-offs, house roll-offs to start with, then zone, and then the Masters themselves. Contact your local bowling house for more information. $7,000 in prize money in that one. And Scotch doubles here at Baisley Lanes, Pine Street on January the 23rd. $95 per team. That's 6 members for the team, 3 men and 3 women. And it promises to be a lot of fun. And also on February the 19th, we've got a ladies tournament. This is for day leagues only at Baisley Lanes. Put your team in. It only costs $40. Guaranteed fun in that one. Ladies are finished. Men are up now, but this one, Jack, is pretty well decided.
I think it has, Bruce. Bobby's going to have to strike out here, but I don't think they can do very much. Barry's open on a mark. Match is history.
All right, 207 for Peggy Glenn. That's her total.
Good shot there by Bobby.
He's a campaigner. Barry Soward. Soward here. Finish off the 9th. Bob JOUDREY. Open on a spare. He's at 100 even right now. Had a 115 in the first string.
Well, Bruce, we've got our big sale starting next week on the 26th. Indoor sale. The big 3.
Tell us about it.
The Spicer's gone crazy.
Where's it take place, Jack?
Up at the industrial park at the old Simpsons warehouse.
Okay.
Gonna slash prices. We got too many cars in our lot. So he's gonna put them indoors.
All right. I was there last year, Jack, and it was a good time. Good shot there by Barry Sauer. We're going to get wood moved from lane 10. We've got wood well out in front there. And Barry Sauer going to do the honors. I was up there last year in the park, Jack, and a great setup, I must say. And you get a chance to get indoors, nice and dry and warm, and see all the vehicles. And look good, too.
And Fairlane Stevens are going to be there, and also Dartmouth Dodge.
Yeah.
So you can pick the model you like.
Can I get a coffee?
You can get a coffee, donut.
That was the best shot all night, over in lane 11. Barry Sauer. Well, now it's set for Sauer. He finishes off on the mark, picking up 5. That's the only mistake he made all night, I think, Jack. But it will be Barry Sauer and CAROYLN SLUNWHITE moving on as they beat the very tough team of Peggy Glenn and Bob JOUDREY. But SLUNWHITE and Sauer now have earned a berth in the number 730s next round, round number 3, which should be a semifinal event. So, let's go to the scoreboard and see the wrap-up, how they stacked up after the final frame. And once again, here's Jack.
Well, Bruce, I thought the match would be much closer than it ended up, but a very good first string. There was only one pin in after each team had bowled 40 boxes. But however, we're looking at Peggy Glenn, who bowled a 111 at the first string, 96 the second string for a 207. Now, Peggy had a lot of good spare chances in the second string. I gave her 3 X's, 4 X's for the night, which isn't all that bad for Peggy. She had some real good hits there, I thought, from the 6th box on in the second string, but just couldn't get that odd pin in the falls, and she had some terrible splits down there, but not a bad night there for Peggy Glenn, 207 for 2. Her partner, Bob JOUDREY, very consistent tonight, 115 the first string, 114 the second string for a 229 total. Bobby had 3 marks in each string. I gave Bobby a total of 3 X's tonight, Bruce, so they had a 6 X's combined for their 40 boxes. But Bobby's started, anytime you get a double strike thrown at you by Barry Sauer in the first and second, it didn't seem to bother Bobby. He came right back with a spare in the first box with 6 on it and was on the front pin, got a bad split there. But he plugged away until the 6th frame when he had the 1 and 3, and he missed it very cleanly, which was a very important mark because I think at that time Barry had a very good setup down there and made his good. But Bobby overall bowled very well. 229. Their 4-string total was 436. Carolyn SLUNWHITE, I thought, probably bowled her best debut on TV. Very consistent, 111, 118 for a 229 total. Very good bowling. Pinned very well, Bruce. I don't think we see a 7 on that sheet in 20 boxes. She had a total of 6 marks, and let's put an average of 4 3/4 per mark. An average of 114.5. Excellent bowling. There's not too much to say about Carolyn. She gets the job done. For tonight, I gave her 2 X's for spares that she should have had. I think they were both 9-pin breaks. One was an 8 and one was a 9. Very good bowling. Very sour. Well, 116 first string. He did the same thing last week. Come out the second string. Threw a double strike and threw 4 spears in front of it, or behind it, I should say, for a 137 and a 128 finishing up last week for a 253 total. And that, to me, looks like about 126.5 average. Excellent bowling, and there was no denying, Bruce, once Barry got through that double strike, it kind of takes the heart out of you because these bowlers are familiar with those double strikes, and when Barry got 3 on it, then there was a little hope. However, they just couldn't get on track. They missed a couple easy shots, that and Peggy and Bobby. And Barry and Carolyn just plugged away, made their spare chances good, had good counts on them. Their 4-string total was 482, so your winners tonight were Carolyn SLUNWHITE, Barry Sauer, over Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey by, I had the total here, Bruce, I think it was 40-16.
Boy, Jack, you know, you got to be impressed. Look at the situation with Joudrey and Glenn. Bob Joudrey opened with a spare, had another spare in the 3rd. Peggy Glenn had a spare in the 4th. So they had 3 marks in the first 4 frames, while SLUNWHITE and SOWARD both went 0 for 5 through the first 5 frames, never had a mark. So they were really 0 for 10 between them. But boy, did they come back. Barry SOWARD ended up in the final 15 frames, had 9 marks, and Carolyn had 6 for 15. So that's an average of 15 over 30. In other words, every other frame, they scored a mark in. So they came on real strong after getting off to a slow start. And I'm with you, Jack. We're full measure for this victory tonight. And you've got to believe this team of SLUNWHITE and SOWARD, they're going to be real tough in this thing.
I think they are, Bruce, and they work very well together. Barry's the type of individual that gives you 110%. Carolyn's been doing some practicing, and her ball seems to be going in the pocket very well. I noticed today that she was using alley balls, which is nice to see. You know, there's nothing wrong with the alley balls that we have down here. A lot of people like to have their own balls, but to see her use the alley balls, I think that's what gave her those good scores. I mean, there's nothing wrong with her balls, mind you. But anytime you bowl 111, 118 for a 229, you got to stay with the alley balls. I kind of feel sorry for, like, Peggy Glenn and Bob Joudrey. They did hit very, very well. I mean, Peggy got out of the chute with a 10 and come back with 2 6s. Now, those 2 6s were both kingpin hits. However, it shows up as 22 for 3, and then she gets 2 marks in the 4th and 5th, and then gets an 8. So she gets herself back to even par after 6, and she finished with 111. So that's a great comeback there by Peggy. And if she had got those spares in the first 2 boxes, I think she would have been off to the races. But then she just couldn't get on track. She finished with a 96. But, however, you got to take hats off to Carolyn and Barry. There was no denying. Anytime you start with a double strike here again, Bruce, it kind of demoralizes the other team, and it motivates the team that's got the double strike. Barry picks himself up $25, and I think he's going into the money round now.
Yep. So it's SLUNWHITE and SOWARD moving on to the 3rd round. We'll take a look at next week's teams in just a moment.
Good match this week, Jack, but another one coming up in just 7 days' time.
Well, we got Gail Adams, her partner Jerry Harris, and versus, I believe that's Helen SLUNWHITE and Everett Hopkins. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to pick Helen SLUNWHITE and Everett Hopkins.
Jack, this match tonight, you deliberated a long time, but you missed this one.
That's true, Bruce. I thought this match would be very, very close, and I thought the second ball would come into play. It did a bit, but it wasn't a factor in the match, and I just thought that the second string, that Carolyn and Barry started the way you should have started. Get a quick jump, and then every time they get a mark, you get a mark, and that way they can't be beaten.
And like we say, Jack, it's nice to know you're human and miss occasionally, but your percentage is pretty good so far in picking these ones. Nice to see you out on the limb and make predictions. That kind of makes it fun, too. So So a good match tonight and another good one coming up next week. Just before we close, a couple of things once again. The Pick Your Partner is over $1,900 here at Basie Lanes, 10 o'clock on Sunday. I'd like to see you down and join us. On behalf of Jack James, myself, Bruce Stephen, and all the gang here at Basie Lanes, and our special guest tonight is Sean Mullins, we bid you all a very pleasant good night.